So after my last balance charger broke, I needed to buy a cheap charger, and I ended up buying the IMAX B6, which is probably the cheapest, smallest balance charger that you can get that's on eBay. I picked it up for 20 bucks, and I also bought a battery medic, and they're like 10 or 12 bucks. I did some research on the Endless Sphere forums, and I found out methods talking all about these and how some have yellow boards, some have green boards, and some have red boards. This one actually happens to have a yellow board, and some people have bad results with these, and some people have good results with them. In this video, I'm just going to show you my first time using both of these products and what happens. I'm not really sure about this one because it seems that it doesn't do much and it's not too accurate at times. Like I'll take something off of the charger and it'll say something completely different over here. But yeah, this is what happens. As you can see, the pack that I have plugged into it right now, one of my turning 5 amp hours, it's quite a bit off just from single cell charging it. The top cell's at 4.26 and the bottom cell's at 4.20. So right now I'm running a little balance on it. So what this little thing is doing is it's taking the 4 cells that are higher than the 4.20 cell, and it's discharging them down to the 4.2. It's a cool, handy little thing. Fairly cheap. They're only like 10 bucks. So you can also balance your cells and discharge your cells. It does LiPo and LiPo. Not really sure what this balancer is doing because it's taken a long time. The voltage has stayed exactly the same and it's been like a half an hour and nothing's happened. But I read the instructions and it says that it is discharging, so I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm going to give it time and just let it sit here and do its thing. Let's go back over to the IMAX 6. Alright. Battery's at 1922 now. It's already been charging for almost 20 minutes at 1.5 amps. There's my DeWalt packs up there. Gotta get the other 3, finish that battery up. I was originally gonna do 36 volt and just make a really big pack, but I think I'm just gonna make a small, like 6 amp hour pack at 15 cells because they discharge pretty good. But I'm going to try to take care of all these LiPos that are kicking around that are all whacked out and not balanced, and see if this thing will, come up to the task and do its job. Let's find out. Alright, 32 minutes in and 19.36 volts. And 19.35. They're 0.01 off, but they're pretty close. Let's see if this thing will top it off. Alright, we're at 19.99. 77 minutes in. Oh, just hitting 20. It's thinking about it. This cool little charging setup. I'm glad I bought it. It's fairly cheap too. They're only like 20 bucks. And obviously I use that from a laptop, 5 amp, 12 volt power supply. Well, something's actually happened. I'm at 21.11 volts. Oh, back up to 12. It's weird. The cell that's not being balanced, the one on the bottom, was 4.20, and now it dropped down to 4.19. So it must be obviously utilizing power of the pack, and while it's trying to balance the other 4 cells, that cell has dropped also. That's kind of weird. Alright, 20.61 volts, 110 minutes. Taking a long time, but it's the first charge I've done, and I set it at 1.5 amps. So it's almost there. Alright, so both of my turning 5 amp hour packs are charged up and balanced, and now I just changed a couple of settings on this thing, and I'm trying to charge this other turning pack here. It was a 6 cell, and it had a puff cell. I pulled one cell off, and I had to actually shorten up the balance connector. I cut one of them off. As you see, there's no black on the end, there's an orange. but it's charging it as a 5-cell right now, and I have it set at 2 amps. So let's see how this one does. Alright, we're 10 minutes in on this smaller 5-cell pack, and just about to get to 19 volts. There it is. 2 amp charge. I got bored while waiting for this thing to finish charging, so I started pulling apart a small pack that has a dead cell in it, and I took the dead cell apart, and now I'm reconfiguring the wiring so it'll work as a 2-cell pack. But let's see what we get here. 19.53 at 2 amp charge, 23 minutes in. That's not bad, but you can definitely notice that this is a smaller pack. Alright, and I have that pack that I added the -2 and put a little piece of heat shrink over the blob of solder. I got plugged into the battery medic, 3.52 on both of them. They're very low, but they should recover fine. I'll charge this after this pack, and we're at 47 minutes in, 20.1 volts, just hit it. So we're getting very close to done here, and then we can put this guy on charge, see if we can recover this. Wow, I just noticed that my power supply is super hot. It's hotter than you'd want it to be. I actually need to put this turning meter in line with this to see how many amps it's pushing, because I've been curious, and I got this charging at 20 volts at 2 amps, so I can imagine the 12 volt draw is pretty high right now. This is the only power supply I have, so maybe I should bring the amp draw down a little bit on my charger. For now, I'm just gonna get a computer power supply fan, or a fan that you would normally put in a computer, and just run it off 12 volts and try to cool this thing down. And there you have it, a simple solution for a simple problem. Just stack those 2 breakers I have, and I put the fan on top of it, and I just got it going right to a 3-cell LiPo pack right here. Nice and simple. Took me about 3 seconds to rig that up, and hopefully we can cool this thing down a little bit. And we're at 20.25, we're almost done. Alright, we're 72 minutes in, and we are at 21 volts, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm probably going to take it off charge here and throw something else on. Alright, checking up on this 2-cell pack. We're 17 minutes in, and we're at 7.98 volts. And that's at a 1 amp charge on an 800 milliamp battery pack. Alright, we're 25 minutes in, and 8.15 volts at 1 amp. We're getting there. It's almost done.